once again, back for episode 4. Playing just the one table with stud high low this afternoon. Good little hand here. We've got ace 4 deuce, 3 6 6 7 key cards. Perhaps it's not really that important to pay attention to the high cards that much, especially now that we've bricked. We should see a bet here, but he didn't bet and they didn't bet, so that's a mistake in my opinion from both of them. Now it seems to me if they're both checking there, they must not have two good cards down. Meanwhile we continue to brick off, and in my opinion the kings should bet there because it's very unlikely that any of these two have much of anything, and they will call with worse. With river aces, I don't really see the value in betting, never mind calling. He could easily be betting kings up here. It's such a small pot initially, we've got nothing really invested in the pot, nothing much to protect. If we're going to get any part of the pot, it's going to be half, and we made the correct fold. Difficult to imagine how, that's the HUD, when it goes bet call call, we can overcall with aces and be good, but stranger things have happened. The one thing I would say is that they could be good, the aces could be good if the boards were slightly different. You know, if they were on low kind of hands, it wasn't really clear cut that they were on low hands. Played with a number of these players before. Tamerlan, Wapakam, I recognise Tasha, I recognise Mulder Pro, although I don't think I have him on my heads-up display at all. I've not played any hand with him of late. Miravoy Strit has moved over there, and Tasha, well, Tasha's not here anymore. I'm curious. Yep, couldn't quite see his stats then, but as you can see, VPIP of 51%, like a boss. Oops, that didn't mean for that to happen. As you can see, that was 2 plus 2. Go there, learn things. Trying to take a sip of my coffee here, so hopefully this works. What we like for time at the moment? 4 minutes. Okay. Difficult to move. I think I set this up a bit incorrectly. If I'd have moved my window to the north a little, I could have squeezed that timer in down the bottom. But we live and learn. As you can see, once again, we're not playing 4 cent, 8 cent. There's a table of 4 cent, 8 cent going, but there's 3 people on the wait list, and the degenerate that I am itching to play, and there was 1 seat available here, so I just sat down. Also, we're getting to the point where 4 cent, 8 cent is a little small to be playing because we're on $96 and I better close Skype. You know, it's a good enough amount to be playing 10, 20. Really, never mind 4 cent, 8 cent. You know, they say 300 bets is a adequate amount. Perhaps if you're a even more serious player, 500 bets to 1,000 bets to be super safe. So really, you only need $60 to be playing this level safely. But in truth, I don't feel as though I was in much danger. Even with playing less than that these games. That being said, they are quite swingy games. Lots of loose players going to the river. It's unpredictable as to what they might hold, and they can and often do get there, taking away half of our pot or indeed scooping it right beneath our very eyes. So deuce 3, I think that was an 8 there, just dropped. So deuce, deuce, 3, 3, 8, 9, 10, 10. I think that was a king there. We're just going to limp. I mean, I think we're quite live with the aces and fours and sixes, which is what we really want. We don't really want deuces and threes, but they obviously help. We hit the 4 right away, and we see 2 sixes gone. Doesn't really change our decision too much, since we will have the best low draw and probably will have the best equity currently anyway, regardless of the 2 sixes. We've still got 6 outs, and I don't suspect Glad always has a low at this point, but he does lead out, and as we can see, he's a bit more selective of his hands than our friend Wapper over there. We're going to just call. And that was another 6 there. We haven't seen any aces, and I believe that's just the first 7 in the hands of Pericol. We've got a number of ways to escape. I believe we'll brick off. Yeah, we do. We can't call necessarily. I mean, if it was just me and him heads up, I possibly would call here, because but the thing is that the Pericol is probably on a higher pair, and he is. We can see that Glad took off with 8 deuce 3, which is not really a playable hand in many situations. With the deuce 4 gone and the 7 3, Pericol limped. He's a very, well, we can't really say anything because he's 7 hands, so I'm not going to say that, but we can try and isolate with our ace. Get a heads up, and then we've got a shot at winning with ace high. But they both call 2 to the face, and I don't really see any point jamming, since I don't have a fantastic hand. Tamerlan is liable to jam any 3 low cards in my experience of her. She bets out with the 4-10, which in my opinion is a error. We're going to raise because we have the only low draw, and we are pretty live. They continue to jam, so that's that could mean that they're on a flush draw, but it could also mean that they're on any pair, basically high pair, and these two players are in with questionable hands. We make aces on fifth. Now they could have the flush already, but I kind of want to charge Pericole the maximum. I'm happy to jam it, perhaps mistakenly. Again, I could, I don't know what to do. I just call. We make a low. Pericole. I think I'm forced to call here. I don't like it, even though I've got a terrible low. And as we can see, Tamerlan went mental with air on 4th Street, as is her custom. I don't know what I could have done. I don't know. Tamerlan is very difficult to play against because you don't know what she has. She plays a loose, aggressive style, plays her hands far too aggressively. And I don't really know why she was jamming that hand, but supposedly it's to our benefit, because if you go back and look, she jammed with just a 7 draw on 5th Street. I could call here, but I'm not going to because I'm kind of a bit irked by what just occurred. I could make bad decisions in this hand. But yeah, she jammed on 5th like it ain't no thing, and went and caught runner to beat me. I don't know whether I could fold. Perhaps that's one for the forums. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. I'll post that one because it's very interesting. Let me know what you think. Maybe it's a bad day at the office for me today. Where's hand converter? Sort that out later. So that's a lot of bets we just lost there. Really, it's nearly half our stack, which is that was 20, nearly 20 bets in one hand. Plus, plus the other hand where we had the deuce 3 4 5 and just bricked off completely. Curious as as to whether Tamerlan is a winning player. She plays very often, more than what this 691 sample size gives her credit for. Assuming it's a woman, it has a picture of a woman. So we'll have a look at her. Tamerlan 058. Refresh. And oh, I didn't. So in the as you can see, she's winning over the sample that we've got of her. Though I don't know why it only says 186 hands on it. It says we've got 691. Okay, I think that's what, because they had added the two together. There's one diamond gone, an ace and a 3 gone, 2 sevens. I guess we'll call the completion from the ace, and then hope if we don't catch a diamond right away, I think we'll just go and just leave, and the 5 of diamonds is a key card. Bit of a crappy outcome, that one. Let me know what you think. It's hands like that that make me question myself. You know, am I doing the right thing? I get caught up in those type of hands, and it's not to my benefit. If we get below $4, I'll top up, because I don't want to risk not being able to bet the maximum amount on all streets, which I believe is 16 bets, something like that. Let me think. So it's 4 small bets on third, 4 small bets on fourth. We're not going to play that hand. So that's four big bets, and then you've got 3 streets of 4 maximum bets. So that's 12 plus the 4. That's 16 bets. You can't bet 16 bets in a hold'em hand, can you? That's what that's great about. Another thing that's great about stud, you can bet more. There's more streets of betting, and that adds to the skill, because the more decisions somebody has to make, if they're a weak player, the less well they will do. Interesting what Wappers took off with here. I put him on 2 low down cards. He didn't have that. Okay. And kings and 3s raised the river. Interesting. They did take off with kings. They had a 4 flush. They bricked off, and then Wapper bet the river unimproved. If I had a pair of kings and I was against a king and he didn't catch any spades, I wonder what I would do. Hard to say. What would you do if you're against a worse pair on 6th Street, which I might think that I was? Then you're still rated to be the best on the 7th street. So then it becomes a question: will they call with one pair less than kings? And often they will. So you can value bet one pair and improve sometimes. And often with aces I do that. Since I find myself on the reel with aces more than other pairs, generally. If I'm playing a high hand. Really curious about that hand where she went crazy with the brick. Maybe, with my knowledge of her, 3, 4, 5 dead. Okay. I wonder how to adjust best to that type of player, because you know if you raise that player, she'll just come over the top and just keep raising regardless of what her actual equity is. So basically I'm putting my variance through the roof. Do I wait until I've got them? And is that exploitable? Just going to check fold here. Do I wait until I've got them right where I want them and just call, and then just then wait until they've and then basically exploit their tendency to raise too much and then get them? Or am I playing right into her hands, waiting for a hand? Difficult to say. I don't understand how to play a loose aggressive style in stud high low effectively, especially in these types of games where it's very loose. I don't believe you can get away with it, because people don't stop calling. Was I correct to jam on this street? I mean, I felt that I had the best hand with the pair of aces. There's only 2 cards to come. Both of them had the worst. They only had low draws. I mean, Pericol had a pair of 7s. I'm gonna have to run it through Pro Poker Tools, and I'm kind of beating myself up about it. I don't know whether I should, but like I said, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, but then the wrong result happens, and I know that bad results happen even though you do the right thing in poker, because right action does not equal right result. I'm not entitled to win the pot. It's just what happens as a result of usually having the best hand. And I shouldn't be attached to the idea that I'm going to win the pot, or I should win the pot, or anything like that, because then I start making emotional decisions. I say let me know what you think, but I don't know whether much of any people are actually watching. Maybe it's just me posting videos into the abyss with nobody to see them. But if you don't put it out there, how will anybody ever find out? Tamalan appears to be struggling with a hand, which we like. We can see that Pericol took off with 10-7 king. I assume they voluntarily put money in the pot with that hand. That is a terrible hand. It's not a hand by any means. They had a dead 7. They had a dead king. The 8-9 was gone. Their hand wasn't even live. And they somehow made the straight. Mulder Pro, the favourite, massive favourite. Even when they made the 3 kings, they were getting free rolled. My experience of Mulder in the past is they're, quite a tight player. And playing with Ashley before, Ashley Fenn from China, I recall that they are a loose, aggressive player. So we'll put tight on him. I don't know whether he's I can't remember. I don't remember him being particularly aggressive. But we can always change this. This player appears to be very loose, but like I said, and playing way too many hands to be even considered a good loose aggressive player. Now I'd say that Tamalan, as they come, is quite a good player for playing loose aggressive. Doesn't make a great deal of errors. When they complete there, they could have high pair, they could have 8 deuce 3. They could have 3 8s. We're going to bet out. She catches a 4 straight away. Now we're going to penalise Tamalan, who is prone to raise, because we've got the huge equity. We're going to trap Peric for a number of bets. Again, Pericol. She catches the 8 low at best, and hopefully we can punish her again. She raises again. That's fantastic, since we've got the best low. And we're getting Pericol to call loads of bets. She got us beat for high at the moment, but unless she's got ace deuce, ace 3 down, or ace 5, deuce 5 down, I don't see how we're going to lose. I'm going to cap, obviously, and I don't really care. We hit our wheel on the river, and we're going to punish her. Hopefully she hasn't got 7-5 in the hole. We've got a 7, Pericol's got a 7. She could have 8s full, or 8-6. First 6 is full of 8s. Yeah. Full house. As you can see, she went crazy when she was getting completely free rolled. So that was a good result. not the most just of results, but there is no justice. And we managed to punish Pericol severely for almost the maximum amount of bets. We got a cap in on every street except 3rd Street. And that was quite a large pot. 874 at 10.20. It's just a shame we couldn't quite make it on get the whole pot, but we'll take that. It was an improvement, a market improvement. We made I think it was 150 or so. After the rake. How much did they rake that hand? Does it say? No, it won't say. Let's go on the hand history and find out how much they're raping us for. Apologies to anybody who has been raped. I don't mean any offence. Oh, they only raked it 10 cents. That's not too bad. 2 hearts, an ace, deuce, 8. I think we can get in cheap and see the next card. Hopefully it gets checked around. It most likely will. We brick off, I think the 3 is a brick, though we're not going to try and represent a low or anything like that. Quite humorous that Pericol decides to bet out there. I'm not going to call. What time are we on now? 32 minutes. Okay, so they bet out on the jack when they made a low on 5th, which is quite a interesting play. Could be argued that's a good play because it misleads people about what you're holding. That Tamerlan continues to play, it doesn't go away. Perhaps they're just taking a break. I've categorised Pericol as a weak player. All these categorisations can be altered at any point if I feel that my characterisation of them is wrong, and I sometimes do that. Boreas, I've never seen them before. Make a note on Pericol as with regards to that hand where he checked 5th with the only made low and then bet on 6th with a received a high card. It's 5 o'clock, so my wonderful girlfriend will be home in about an hour or so, maybe. And then it'll be time for me to make the dinner and other some such. Ace 3 4 5 6 8. With the ace, I'm looking to isolate the 8, and there's quite a weak board behind me, so we should be able to clear these out. Mulder Pro calls, which is not good, but we don't mind too much since we catch the deuce straight away. Now we could have aces here, and there's a 5 gone. I don't know whether to raise or not. I think I'll raise. When in doubt, raise. And hope that Suprematic calls too cold, which he does. Now he just calls with the aces and the ace, so it seems to me he possibly didn't have aces because he didn't jam me, but maybe he just doesn't know what he's doing. We hit the wheel, which is the scoop card. Kind of lucky, but I think, to be honest, I think we were winning with the ace king based on the way that Boreas has played this hand. I don't believe that we were losing to Sopromatic either. We'll see whether our estimations are correct. It's always nice to hit a wheel, and that's 2 for 2 on wheels. And we were not winning on 4th Street in terms of absolute hand strength. In terms of equity, we could well have been. But I think we were incorrect to bet on 5th Street. When it's got completed, and I mean, I know it's Tamerlan, but this is just not a hand. It's a Raz hand. This is that type of hand where she goes crazy with it, but I just fold. Don't really know what Boreas was doing there. I catch ace deuce. She's got deuce deuce 8 ace. His hand is pretty dead in terms of high strength. So then he's just looking at runner low, which he did catch eventually, albeit the 8-7. As you can see, we passed the pair of 9s. It's not a good situation on 3rd for the 9s. I believe there was a 8 gone there. I might have seen a 9, I can't remember, but I just didn't like the cards behind me. So we didn't need to top up, that's good. So we're only down 10 cents after all. Well, 9. Tamerlan taking off with a king, ace, jack. Like it's the nuts. I'm looking at folding, but I could. No, it's not going to. I'm not going to try and get fruity now. I was, if it was going to go fold for fold for fold. In that unlikely event in this game, I don't think that anyone is folding much on 3rd, it seems, from what I can see from the table. I wonder how you get your FPDB to only display hands from this stake level in the HUD. See if have a quick look at that. I don't know how to sort it out. Tournament. Stat settings. Stud. I guess you click on stud default. Just not load existing settings. We can sort it out of colouring. Perhaps I might want to cancel that and then come back to that later, because it appears that there is some configuration that could be done. Interesting what Tamerlan might have here. Possibly trip sixes. Nope. Started with an interesting 8-10-6 of spades. That's a hand which can scoop the pot, because it can work both ways. You've got a 3 flush. I think, let me see how that went down earlier. Boreas played his aces aggressively on a 2-bet. Third, he raised 4th street. Tamerlan just called with the sixes, unlike her. Tamerlan bet out on 5th street when she improved. And you can't blame a Boreas for calling, really, because when she's showing 6-6-10, it's hard to really put her on in a hand, and this is one of the reasons why she's a little bit difficult, tricky to play against. But when we pick up a hand, as we often do, she will be there to pay us multiple bets with the worst of it. Unlike our other friends, all the 4s, so we're not going to make a straight. Hopefully I can limp into this pot and catch a diamond. I didn't see any diamonds. Didn't catch a diamond. And the pair of 7s is not beneficial, really, yet. And we've got Mulder Pro betting, so I don't really want to get involved. And not to mention the fact that we could already be beat over here. It was only going to be a diamond, a low diamond particularly, for me to continue, and it was okay to see it for 4 cents, just for the cost of the bring-in. Boreas bet out there with 8s with a queen in the hole. He did not have the best hand, and Mulder Pro bet 4th with a Raz hand, but he did have the only low draw, so I probably would agree with that anyway, regardless of whether he's not really got much high potential. If he catches a good card on 5th, then he's all set to scoop the pot. As it happened, he didn't. Why did he play on 6th street? Did he raise it on 6th? Our friend Pericol going to Going deep into the hand with nines. Yeah, Mulder Pro did raise on 6th correctly with the lock low. Obviously, he could be outdrawn for low, according to what cards he could see. But at that point, he was the favourite for the low, and he correctly put more chips in to increase his half of the pot, possibly all of it if he catches the 5 on the river. So what we've seen so far, Boreas is they're liable to play just about every hand. But you know, it's only 12 hands or so. I suppose it's possible to get a good hand nearly every hand for 12 hands. I've never done it. I can't say that I've ever played more than 2 or 3 hands in a row, unless I'm very short-handed. But even then, I fold quite regularly on 3rd. We'll add a note to her to say that she capped 4th with a brick, with 3 low cards and a brick. And one of them was an ace. Something like, it was like ace 3 5, wasn't it? But credit to her, she made me think. I've got a phone call. What's this? Excuse me. Hello. Hi, I'm recording a video at the moment. You on your way home, yeah? No, I'm still recording with this phone call. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care. It's going on YouTube. Yeah. We're all good for that. Okay, see you later. Bye. Sorry about that. We exploit their Mulder Pro's tight tendencies with a little loose aggressive play of our own. Now, judging by this game, I don't believe that it's beneficial to try and anti-steal. So this is a type of hand where you might try and steal the antes. It's got some value like that. But there were a number of low cards behind, which probably would have given us action. And it's not a hand that you want to take against multiple opponents. You'd like to take it against one person, and then your 5s could have some value, especially against a deuce door card. much more aggressive than usual. Philippich catches a backdoor flush. Interested to see what Pericol showed up with there. Okay, so they had aces in the hole, and it's a good job we got out of the way. But regardless of what happened after we got out of the way, I still think it was the correct decision anyway. With that hand earlier, where I stole the pot basically with garbage, he's a tight player. He should fold more often than these other players on third, and then if he doesn't catch well on fourth, we can just bet with impunity. Is it impunity or immunity? I don't know. We can bet regardless. Well, not regardless. We can bet if he catches bad, and then we can just shut down if he catches good. I wouldn't put a chip in the pot again if he caught bad. If he caught good. And I think it's okay to try and steal. If you're going to steal, which in this game, this particular game dynamic where it's very loose and everyone's playing a hand all the time, you're not going to take the antes down very often at all. In this particular type of game, it's not beneficial. But in a game where it is, where the players are tighter and you get those take down the antes a lot more often. Oh, that's a good hand. So we've got a deuce, deuce, three, dead. So ace, ace, deuce, deuce, three, 4, 5, 7, 8. And Boris open completed as well. So I'm not really afraid at this point of what they might have. That's 3 deuces gone, and now that's a king and a 10. But we brick off as well, so I don't think it's valuable to jam. Obviously Tamerlan catches a low draw. That's another 7 gone. Another 10 gone. So I'm not really afraid of them having 2 pair at this point, and we can bet out. We make aces up, that's fantastic. That's another 10. So that's a third 10. And looks like Tamerlan might have 2 pair, which is great, because their hand is extremely dead. They rivered a flush. It's very unlucky. I don't feel that was incorrect to raise a river, because it was far too likely that they had 2 pair. That was very unlikely to have improved based on the dead cards. And they did have 2 pair, it's just that they also had a flush draw. paired queens, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 7. Queen, queen, king. We'll just call, pretend what we've got, that we've not got anything. 7, 7. They both brick. Mulder Pro catches well. Should go call, call here. And the queen, they both brick. This is looking very good for us because he's only got 7 deuces, he's got no straight draw. He should really lay down, but he doesn't. They're all continuing to brick off. It's glorious. I don't know why. Moravai strips calling, and of course we've got a value bet on the river because it seems to me he's got a pair here. This is why he's calling with 4 Jack 10 9. And then 9 10 5. I mean, he could have a low draw. I think it's more correct. We're gonna get value off Moravai here, more than he's gonna river a straight. Oh, that would explain as well. Well, I couldn't possibly have suspected that he had that. So he completed on 4th Street, didn't he? And it went call, and I called with the queens. Well, that's I don't know. I don't know what else I could do really. I mean, I couldn't possibly put him on that hand. Based on the way he played it, he didn't play very aggressively, so I just thought, well, he's not really got that. I didn't really think, it didn't even cross my mind because he wasn't playing it as though he had that. He was just calling, I suppose, because I paired my door card and it was higher than his trips. If it folds to us, I think we might be able to steal, but we're not going to. It's not going to happen. And I don't know why I'm thinking about stealing as well, because like I said before, and it's cost me so many chips before in this type of game. Trying to steal in a game where steals don't work is not beneficial. Let me know what you think about that queens and sevens. I don't really see why I should think that I did not have the best hand the whole way. I suppose it was possible that he completed with a higher pair on 3rd Street. But you know, when a completion comes from a low card, very often they just have 3 low cards. So, but when we make 2 pair straight away, he doesn't appear to make anything. I mean, he's got 4 Jack 10 9 showing, so he's not got 2 pairs showing. He's not got a pair on his board, so he can't have a better 2 pair unless he's tripped up somewhere along the way. We can't be beaten unless he's got a higher pair and then rivers the higher 2 pair. We're not going to check and be scared of that. We're going to bet and hope that they pay off rather than and then wait till they tell me any different. You know, oh, actually, no, you've not got the best hand, so now I'm raising you, and then we can reconsider. me know what you think about the aces up hand as well, because you know she bet out on 6th with her 2 pair. I put her on 2 pair, and then she just called. Obviously, well, not obviously, but she must have been thinking, well, he's probably got me beat. But now I call, and then she bets out on the river again. It just seems perhaps maybe she improved. Interesting that she only called the river with a flush. I mean, I don't believe I was showing a flush possibility. I had a diamond flush draw. Diamonds were okay, liveness wise, but normally, you know, she'll go mental with 3 to a low and a brick on 4th Street, but then she won't raise with a flush again. Won't put 3 bets in with a flush on the river. Was it too aggressive to raise with a 2 pair on the river? You know, these hands don't come up very often. You don't get such a good run out of board cards very often, where you know all their hands were so dead, and I mean my hand was still kind of liveish. I had an ace or ace. My aces and 4s I think were live. We go back and have a look at the hand. Where so my 10s were so dead, but my aces and 4s were very live. They're all live, and you know we didn't see any queens either. And you know they were, you know, we got Pericole just bricking off totally, calling off with shit basically. Okay, so they six streeted a flush draw. But the other cans, you know, deuce 7 9. When a 7's gone, a deuce gone, a 7 gone, he's got no chance really. Not much chance of improving. There's a 9 over there. He's not going to have 2 pair with a 9 anyway. And then deuce 7 10 10. You know, their hand's dead because their hand's dead. So I think I was correct to. I'm not going to call an ace completion with a 10s, and there was a dead 10 anyway. You know, their hands were dead, and I had the best hand, and I was betting, and that was correct. I think I was right. On 4th, I don't know whether it's correct to raise when. I don't know. This one, there's a 4 and a 5 of hearts gone. I'm not going to play that 3 flush. There's also 3 hearts instead of 2. It's not a very live hand. 3 4 5 is also cards we needed. As you can see, Tamerlan is just storming the place. We're over the hour mark. I'm not sure that I care. you know how to set up FPDB to only show the same stake level, that would be great if you could tell me, because I've really not any idea how to do it. It seems like Miravoy Strit, he's playing in a similar fashion to Tamerlan. You know, if we go up here, although he's not as aggressive. Yes, he's not very aggressive. No, he's not in the same sort of vein as Tamerlan, who's got he's got double the aggression of Miravoy. And you can see that she completed with 5-10-5. King and ace dead. And also, we have a crap hand. Ace, ace, deuce, deuce, 4, 6, 6. I'm not gonna try. I'm trying to get to the 4th street cheap because our hand is not excellently live. And then if we brick off, we can just dump it straight away. I don't see. I mean, yeah, I've probably got one of the best starting hands in the whole table, for sure. But I could have bet there as well, I think, with the ace high, but I think everybody will call, and we make a 7 low. I think I'm winning now. There must be a pair amongst some of these people, but I don't think they'll necessarily call. And we make a bet. We make a perfect 6 low. We've got ace high. We could scoop. I think he's paired up though, to be honest. Oh, he paired the river. Okay. We were scooping, unless he paired, but he did pair. And that was good enough. If only we could just, you know, just one time hit a 7. But you know, right at the beginning of the hand, what did we say? Our hand isn't very live for high. You know, the 6s, the deuces. We need the deuces to make a good low. But on the other hand, the 3s, the 5s, the 7s, which make the top end of the straight for the 6-4, are good. Now, with Mulder Pro having 19 cents, I'm not too fussed about having possibly the worst hand for high. When Tamerlan 2 bets, obviously she's got 3 low cards, and we'll go from there. And my hand is not a significant favourite. If it is a favourite, I could be behind at this point. When she bricks off, it's obvious I'm going to just bet and just jam it with her. And she makes a flush. And I jam it with her because in the other hand, when she caught an absolute doink card, she jammed it. And I didn't think she had a kings because he pawned it. He passed a king there. to top up. So 440. I meant to do 540, didn't I? Very frustrating hand. I don't know. I don't see why I shouldn't. You know, when she catches 6 king, I don't see why I should think she has anything. I just. So, you know, in that situation, I just think, well, I'm winning, so I'm going to put more bets in and see you at the river. Need to add more chips. 105 after this hand. I'm not going to try and steal the pot. So what happened? I mean, when it goes to 6th, okay. So deuce 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 8, jack king. We'll just call. Catch a Raz, low draw. And he catches the king catches a jack as well, so that's a dead jack. And that's a deuce as well. And we got a wheel draw now, the 3 5s. That's ace ace. We'll bet. If he raises, I'll call. Dead king. Live queen. Presumably can't beat my 7, otherwise we would have heard from him by now. We make another wheel. I'm still kind of cut up about that hand. Another huge pot against Tamerlan. It just seems like she plays really loose aggressive. I get loads of bets in against her, and I just seem to come out worse off. Even though, you know, I usually start with the best hand, and in a lot of occasions she's jamming with the worst hand, like all the way. So I don't know. It's very volatile with her. I will make it my mission to defeat her because, you know, of all the players at these games, I think she is probably one of the stronger ones and the trickiest one for sure. I mean, by tricky I don't mean trappy, she's not trappy. Dead 6, ace behind. Tamerlan in the bring in is probably going to just like jam it with me. I'm not going to try and get involved. What did Zeziguar? Okay, so he open completed 9s. It's worth. So that's probably fair to say that he open completes his high pairs. We can say that they 2-bet versus an ace with a 3 flush. Jammed, flush draw, continued to be aggressive when caught apparently bricks, but actually made flush. So we're basically down a bunch of money because of Tamerlan. I don't know, maybe is she playing well or is she just on a heater? I can't say. Just don't. How do I beat her? You know, maybe I'm putting too many bets in with not with hands which aren't strong enough. You know, I just had a pair of queens and I was going mental. But then again, what does it matter what hand you have if you're winning? I mean, I thought I was winning. I thought I was a favourite. So why shouldn't I put plenty of bets in when I'm the best, when I'm the favourite? Now, in that case, with the flush, I wasn't the favourite, but I couldn't know that, and I didn't know that they were the sort to bet the free flush and all that against the ace door as well. But then again, I don't know. Should I pass this? Yeah. Once he calls with the ace, I'm out. Even though he's playing nearly every hand. Then again, it is a fairly normal play to bet with 3 low cards and a 3 flush. Can I? So we bloated up the pot. Do we make the? I think that's another one to post again because it's just so. It's a troublesome situation. Instant hand history. Right. You know, maybe maybe I've made critical errors there. But the thing is, it was unusual. The hand was unusual. It was not normal. A normal, usual hand. So we'll do another one. There's the hand converter. Reload that. Put that in there. Convert. Jobs are good in. New thread. Post that in there. Get that ready. This could be a spot to steal. I didn't see the dead cards though, so maybe this is an error. But they break off, although they catch 10, which is bad for us. The 7-3 is not really connected. We've got 3 diamonds, so we're not too worried about them having and they raise, which is normal. We're not too worried about them having the flush draw. We make 4 flush. Now it's unlikely that they raised open 10s with 7s, so we've got the best hand. And hot belly mama raises on 5th Street, so if they could have trips or a straight here, we'll call. Now I don't believe that he has more. I don't believe that he's full. We're going to fold because we can't beat his hand. And they did have the straight. And we were drawing live. Let's see if we were. Okay, so maybe I wouldn't have played the hand if I'd have known that, you know, king on, but all the diamonds were live. Very it's a little bit unusual that he bets out with the 3 7s, considering that I look like I got 3 10s. He looks like he's got a straight or 3 jacks, or you know, he slow played 3 8s. But I guess what else do you do? I mean, you got 3 7s showing, you're gonna bet that. So I think I was priced in to call down as well, try and make my flush. You can see he raised with a low draw. He had 3 flush, 3 to a straight. That's my girlfriend, so I gotta go. See you guys next time.